Hi everybody. In this video I want to introduce this service called SolidProfessor and how we're going to use it in the class. I'm using SolidProfessor instead of a textbook, and it also replaces the formal weekly lecture that we would have in this class. Alright, so if you go into Google and type in SolidProfessor, it should be the first hit, solidprofessor.com, and I'm going to go into the student store. Well, the first thing I'm going to do before I introduce the package, I'm just going to show you how to sign up for it. So you're going to have to select your school. So obviously it's UMass, but sometimes students have a problem finding it because it's going to be capital UM, so it's right at the top of the U's. So if you scroll all the way down, and we will get to UMass Lowell. So UMass all in caps, so you select that, go to continue, fill out your name, and I'm going to put in my a Gmail account address because otherwise it's going to find that I already have an account. It already has that account. So let me do another one. Danger of having too many email addresses. So create a big password, and we'll go ahead and submit. All right, so you're going to see under payment methods, there's two different types here. If you have a bookstore voucher, you can purchase the SolidProfessor subscription via the bookstore, and in that case, they would end up just giving you a receipt that has an enrollment key on it. That's what you would put in here. So unless you have a bookstore credit, the best thing to do is purchase it by yourself via credit card, because if you do it through the bookstore, they're going to add on 15%. So the cost of the one-year subscription is $85, and you're going to go ahead and click Buy Now. And go in and log in. So this is the one I have. I have a Gmail account that I've used as a student account. So I'll go ahead and log in. And this is pretty much something that you'll see here. Obviously, you won't see a pickup where you left off. But if you click on classes and you're going to click on join a class, you might notice that Professor Kumar from Civil Engineering is also using this service. And I have a number of courses here, but the one that we're just going to talk about now and the one that you want to join is MEC 2010 Fall 2020. So you go ahead and join that class. You'll say OK. And you'll see that it's my classes and available classes at UMass Lowell when you click into your classes. So the only thing you'll do is you'll click on View Assignments, and you'll see that there's a bunch of assignments that I've created. I'll talk about that when I do the video on how the schedule of the class is going to work, but this one is actually open, so you can view the lessons for lesson AB. And you'll see that it's just a bunch of lessons. Over here, it tells you that there's 33 lessons, but it only is an hour and 12 minutes because all of the videos are very, very short. And I'm just going to scroll down to one of them here. Let's say starting a sketch. And we'll just watch a couple of minutes of it. I'm going to zoom ahead a little bit.
Mode. You can also tell we're in edit sketch mode from these couple icons that appear, which I'll go over a little later. If we look over at the Feature Manager tree, you can see that a new sketch was created, sketch 1 in this case, and I'm essentially ready to start creating our 2D use to save time. When I used the new sketch icon, SolidWorks prompted me to choose which plane I was going to sketch on.
All right, so you get the idea of what type of videos are fairly decent quality, and you're able to go back and rewatch them over and over again. I used to make my own videos, but every time SolidWorks releases a new version, they end up essentially breaking my videos because they change the interface. So this is just much more time economical. But I will be making additional videos as we go through the course. The other thing you'll note is that once you've watched the entire video, you'll see a little eye that will become black or present, and that's going to state that you've completed that video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the schedule of the class and how the grading will break down. But I will note here that watching the SolidProfessor videos is part of the course, and thus you'll be graded accordingly. So what I typically do is state that if you've completed 85% of the videos, then you've fulfilled that portion of the course. The reason I do that is because sometimes you find yourself that you're jumping around and you might miss something, but you'll also notice that there are things like HTML, and sometimes the SolidProfessor, the interface sometimes screws up a little bit and you won't see those little eyeballs showing up even though you've done everything. For instance, here, this HTML has me go through 6 pages where they're kind of walking you through an exercise. And then the last one is a video.
Every part you
So if
create in
I actually
SolidWorks
let
will
this,
begin with
I'm
this
cheating
is to
here, so I
click
don't know
and
if it's
drag
going
on any
to
points or line
allow it or
segments
not,
that still
but I'm just going to go to the end of the video and I can click next lesson as if I was going on to it, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to shut this down here. But you'll notice that no black eyeball shows up here. And at other times you'll run into things where there's actually a PDF. So for this one, for doing geometry, you're going to download a PDF. And again, sometimes the interface doesn't acknowledge the fact that you've done that. But typically, if I set the requirement to 85%, any of this gets lost in the noise and no one loses points because of it. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you about SolidProfessor is some of you might be balking at the fact that you're paying $85 for something. But there is this entire library up here of additional things that you can use in SolidProfessor. So let me just go to that screen. So the SolidProfessor library, in other words, you're just not limited to the class that I've made. You can go in, so there's obviously things in SolidWorks, but there's Inventor and AutoCAD here, also Fusion 360. The first lesson, lesson AB, is taking information from here. If you're into CNC modeling, there's also a whole lesson on Mastercam. I like to tell the students that they should spend some time, maybe over the Christmas break or sometime next year or even next summer, go through this course or the 3 courses on what's called geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. A lot of companies that are hiring, especially if you're looking at getting into the manufacturing field, you would definitely want to know something about GD&T and this one down here, DFM, Design for Manufacturing. So those are 2 definite ones that I would think you'd get your money's worth just by having these courses. There's also one on MATLAB. There's also one on ANSYS. Again, you won't be using ANSYS till later on, but who knows? And the big brother of SolidWorks is CATIA, so something else you might want to at least take a look at. So if you're ever in a job interview, you can say, yeah, you have a working knowledge of it, you've seen it. Same thing with Abacus. You're going to be using Abacus in junior year in your applied strengths course. So again, it's something that's not a bad idea to have watched a few videos about. So oh, and there's also Arduino, which is really cool. But my hook here is that, yes, if you just use it for just this class and just watch the videos that I've assigned you, then you're not getting your full money's worth. But you have to kind of go out and do it for yourself. So there's my pitch. All right, so that's about it right now. Go back to classes. And now your class is here. And you can go ahead and view the assignments. I will be opening these up. They have dates on when they're available. So basically, I'm opening them up the Sunday of the week when you should start watching them. So that's all I have right now. So please take the time to get this done and purchase your SolidProfessor account. And if you have any questions, please send me an email. But if not, I'm Professor Sullivan, signing out.